It's been almost 3 years since Samus last graced us with her presence in a console game, and her last outing, Echoes, was a hit with fans and some critics, but it failed to reach critical mass in sales. The final installment in the trilogy is just a couple of weeks away, and Metroid Prime 3 Corruption is an important release on many levels. Not only can it re-establish the financial viability of the series, but it will also stand as a technical benchmark for the Wii, a system that quite honestly has yet to be pushed by any developer. After spending several days with a complete build of the game, we have to say that things are looking good on both counts. Prime 3 begins with Samus asleep in her ship. While she's sawing off some Z's, all hell is breaking loose on a remote space station. It seems that Dark Samus is up to her old tricks. Waking from her slumber, Samus finds herself floating outside a Galactic Federation armada, and she's promptly asked to identify herself before being welcomed to dock.
Welcome back, Samus.
Once on the flagship, she dons her Various suit in search of the ship's captain. Eventually, she discovers that she's been summoned to fix a series of computers that have been infected with a virus. But she won't do it alone.
Where did this virus come from?
A motley crew of other bounty hunters has been assembled to help with the task. At least initially, they're Samus's allies and will help her with the first few goals. The briefing ends, and the mothership is attacked by space pirates. And that's about all the story that we're willing to divulge. Perhaps the biggest revelation to be found in Prime 3 is that Samus doesn't lose her powers at the beginning of the game. You can forget about starting with a gimped arsenal and trekking forward to reclaim them. She starts with just one beam, but she already has her double jump, the morph ball, the charge shot, and 3 visors at the outset. Switching Samus's visors is an easy process. You simply hold down the minus button, point it at the one you want to select, and then release it. The 3 initial visors include Battle, Scan, and the brand new Command visor that will call her ship to land at predetermined points. The ship plays a much bigger role in Corruption in general. In addition to controlling it remotely, you'll also jump in it to travel to new planets. That's right, instead of Prime 3 taking place on one orb with a labyrinth of tunnels, Samus has to jump from one celestial body to another. She'll go to one planet and complete the objective, and then later have to return to access new areas with her enhanced abilities.
You must fly there and find a way to destroy it.
The best thing we've discovered after spending some serious time with the game is that a lot of the quibbling issues that have plagued the series have been remedied. Dying is no longer a cue to turn off the console, as there's now a checkpoint system that will allow you to pick up the game after the last significant cutscene instead of going all the way back to the last save point. We predict that this will amount to a lot of Wiis being left on overnight, as once you shut the system off, the checkpoint is lost. Due to the planetary system, the backtracking has been toned down significantly. She'll still have to return to most areas, but it doesn't require squinting at a 3D wireframe map trying to figure out where to go. The big question with Prime 3 and with most Wii games is how do the controls work? Based on our first handful of hours with the game, we have to give it the thumbs up. You can manually aim, and with 3 different sensitivity settings, you can find a turning speed that works for you. There's also the lock-on system made popular by the first 2 games. You can use it the old-school way, where you lock on and let loose, or you can use the default setting, which points Samus in the right direction, but then you can fine-tune where each shot lands. We recommend the latter, as the aiming is razor-sharp. Where weapons are concerned, we've already acquired the ice missile, so we're guessing that there's no ice beam in the game. Upgrades to health and missile capacity come a lot more quickly in Prime 3, and so far there's a much larger emphasis on combat than exploring and using the scan visor. You can also use the ship to call in bombing runs. One twist to the combat is Samus's hyper mode. As you might remember, her suit was infused with Phazon in the prior Prime games, and here it all comes to fruition. Aside from being rather spiffy, her new Phazon suit gives her the ability to kick it into overdrive. Simply hold the plus button, and away she goes. While in hyper mode, her attacks carry a much bigger wallet, making it perfect for boss encounters. The catch is that the Phazon suit runs on her energy tanks. Let it run too long, and Samus will become corrupted and die. Enemies also carry Phazon grenades that can send Samus over the tipping point, and you have to expel the excess Phazon quickly or face the consequences. The rest of the more Wii-specific gameplay features include latching onto enemy shields and blast doors with the grapple beam and then ripping them off. You'll also use the Wii Remote to activate switches or prime various liquid pumps scattered throughout the levels. Wii Connect 24 may not be the equivalent of Xbox Live, but Metroid Prime 3 really tries. After each significant victory or a successful scan of a new creature, an icon pops up giving you points. These points can then be spent in a shop where you can purchase items, soundtracks, and other bonuses. Best of all, you can trade these with anyone else on your friends roster who's been playing the game. From a technical perspective, there's no denying that Corruption is the best looking Wii game yet. With that said, it's definitely not leaps and bounds beyond the visuals in the first two games. In fact, to the untrained eye, there's hardly any difference. The good news is that Prime 3 is a virtual Citizen Kane compared to prior outings. There are tons of cinemas with full-on voice acting, and the story is much more engrossing for it.
Space Pirate Grey is definitely not my style.
Though Samus still maintains her mute stance, just as it should be. Based upon our initial playtime, we owners have a lot to look forward to with Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. A lot of the annoyances from the prior two games have been rectified. It's a much more cinematic experience, and it shows that the Wii controls can work very well if in the right hands. We've already dumped a good 7 hours into the game, and it's only rating us at around 15% complete, so it's looking to be one lengthy mission. Look for our full review of the Bounty Hunter's latest contract next week.